we have Alchemist. This is a hero that went up in win rate quite a bit. Definitely was having a lot of success. I even played it as position 5 recently. And it felt pretty good, to be honest. Like, the stun being a 16-second cooldown at level 1 and just being better in terms of mana cost is nice. On top of that, it was easy to get the max amount of last hits, so you would farm. I don't think it was quicker. It was probably about the same. I don't know. It just felt good in general. And the most important thing was the acid spray. The acid spray felt great. The fact that it did damage right away and more damage was very nice. So this is a bit of nerf to Alk, but I don't think it's the end of the world, to be honest. Then we have Arc Warden. This is another hero that was doing quite well. This hero was about a 54% win rate, and so they're reducing its strength from 25 to 23. So yeah, I mean, funny enough, Arc Warden is one of the heroes with some of the highest base strength in Dota, so I mean, yeah, it's definitely 40 HP. Could get him killed on the laning stage, so some talent changes as well. 250 flux, cast range at 200. Okay, at level 10, yeah, quite a few people would take this talent and fight with it, so that makes sense to me, you know? Basically what people would do, they'd max flux, they'd max their E, and then they would run around at level 6, or level 7, level 8, level 9, and they would show up to a lot of fights and kill a lot of people with magical damage, so okay, it's pretty reasonable. Axe. Counter Helix Shard attack speed increased from 20 to 25. What this means is Axe's Shard, what it is it gives him counter Helix attacks, right? And essentially every time you auto attack his Axe, it has the chance to proc counter Helix, and it gave you just attack speed as well. It was just like a side bonus, so now you get 5 more of that. Still don't think it's good. Batrider, base movement speed increased by 5? Oh, okay. That's actually a big deal, giving Batrider, a hero that is very, movement speed reliant. It's a big deal for him to get 5 movement speed, so I definitely expect a bit of a win rate increase for that. Bounty Hunter, track shard vision reduced. Yeah, I was saying it from the beginning. This is one that definitely stood out to me, and it still does. Keep that in mind. Sure, it's only 600 now. The vision is reduced. If you don't know what this means, when you track people, it gives AoE vision, right? The shard would give vision of everyone around them. So how track normally works is it only gives vision to the person you track, but now with the shard, it gives AoE vision, and it's really strong. It's so good for scouting, so yeah, this makes sense to me. Brood Mother. Okay, that's funny. So the Silken Bola now does 150 damage. Still probably not gonna buy it, but yeah, that makes more sense, It's still something I wouldn't buy, but you can root them into 150 damage, which is Death Pack damage reduced. So I guess Clinks is still good, This is a hero that wasn't really buffed. I actually think he went down in win rate after the patch, but he's still one of the highest win rate heroes of the patch and in Dota. So yeah, I think this is them just saying we don't want Clinks to be that good in pubs anymore. He keeps being a top win rate hero, so definitely a pretty big nerf. 2% is a lot in the late game. Enigma! Oof, okay. They really want you to take Midnight Pulse Radius. They're really trying to emphasize, hey guys, please take Midnight Pulse Radius, because another 2% off on CDR. Alright. Ice Wall Shard increases wall legs. Oh, wow. Alright. Honestly, this is one I thought that wasn't that bad, but as I said, the biggest issue with this shard is not necessarily what it does. What it does is pretty cool, being able to put the shard in good places is nice, but at the same time, the biggest issue with it was just having to spend 1400 gold on an Invoker. And typically at the 20-minute mark, that's when you're going to be building into your BKB, and you kind of need your BKB, so it's a bit tough. Juggernaut, Swift Slash cooldown, which is his Ags. Cooldown reduced from 15 to 20. Oof. And the cast range. Oh, God. Okay. Ooh, jeez. They really didn't want Jug to be good. Oh my God. Alright. These are some big nerfs. Ags, worse, much worse. And now the shard also 25% worse. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, that's just bad. Keeper of the Light, Illuminate max damage increased. Alright, wow, okay. Just straight up 25 more damage at level 1. That's pretty good. Chakra Magic Mana Store increased by 20. In all levels as well. The Solar Bind cooldown was rescaled, which means it's worse at level 1 but better at max, which I would say is a general buff. I would say that's a buff. So yeah, just a bunch of Coddle buffs. Even his level 10 talent, Blinding Light cooldown minus 8 seconds now. That sounds like a big deal to me. I'm not exactly sure how much it impacts the hero, but these are some big buffs to Coddle. Alright. I feel like this hero had potential as is. It's just a difficult hero to play, so the win rate always kind of reflects that. It's like, yeah, the hero's win rate is low because that's what, you know, people don't know what to do on like a hero when it gets changed. They don't know how to play it, they don't know how to build it, but alright. I'm curious to see how Coddle goes because I feel like this hero has potential. Kunkka, his Shard Tidal Wave mana cost was reduced from 150 to 75. That's a big deal. And the cooldown was reduced from 16 to 14. Alright. Honestly, this is a shard I was quite a bit of a fan of. Feel like it's okay. So yeah, I think there's potential buying Kunkka Shard. I definitely think so. Alright, Legion Commander. Dual Shard Overwhelming Odds Strike interval changed from 1.5 to 2. The overwhelming odds first strike now happens immediately. Okay, so basically, you do damage right away in the duel, but it takes longer for the second one to come out. So I'm guessing overall this is a buff, because I doubt they would nerf this. I don't think it needed to be nerfed. It didn't feel broken or seem broken, so I think this is probably more ticks overall, but I'm not going to do the math. Maybe Purge can do that. Nihilism Scepter no longer causes you to take increased damage. So what this does is it would make everything in an AoE ethereal, including yourself, which made you on Leshrac take more magical damage, which is a bit sus. You know, it's kind of bad. So, yeah, not good. Lifestealer, this hero got trashed, but he got 3 more base damage. Alright, that's pretty good. Ghoul Frenzy Slow increased by a lot. Alright. 4% at level 1. That's a big deal. That's definitely a big deal. Rage movement speed increased. Alright. Hey, 3% more at max is nice. And Openwood Shard mana cost. Alright, nah, don't buy that. Lion. Mana Drain Shard attack speed reduction from... What the heck? Alright. Late game, this shard is definitely viable. Like, reducing someone's attack speed for 120 is ridiculous. I mean, they have no attack speed left, essentially. Most heroes get up to, like, 200 attack speed max in a game, I think. Pretty sure, yeah, it's around, like, 200 is, like, usually a high for most heroes. Unless you're, like, some, you know, agility or attack speed, you know, oriented hero. So, that's, I don't know. I think there's potential there. Late game though, because you still want like Aether, you want Glimmer, you want Force, you might even want Ags, and then you buy this. You know, I definitely don't buy this until you at least have an Aether, otherwise it's useless. Lone Druid Savage Roar Shard increased from 4 to 5 seconds. So what it does is it buffs his new upgrade to Savage Roar, which empowers allies in a 700 AoE with 20% movement speed and 60 attack speed for 5 seconds. So honestly, I'm still not really a huge fan of this one. I guess it's okay late game, like when you're like 12 slotted, but you know, like it's just weird to use Savage Roar to empower allies. Like it's too much to keep track of. I want to be more so focused on just using it defensively, I think, and using it to essentially stun people in roots. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that one. Next up on the list, we have Luna, Lucent Beam Shard Stun Duration. Alright, making it slightly better. Lycan's level 15 talent was reduced from 10% CDR to 8%. And the other one is Shapeshift Movement Speed. Alright, I still think you take the CDR, to be honest. But Shapeshift Movement Speed isn't terrible, so that one I'm on the fence about. I think, yeah, I will have to see. I'll watch them and I'll let you guys know. Level 15 talent reduced from 3.5 arrow to 3. And, oh wow, okay, so they're hard nerfing her talents. Jeez. Alright, they're really nerfing. They want Mirana to be a right clicker. I think this is kind of... They're not, like, forcing it. I'm sure Mirana support is still good. It's still definitely very good, so I wouldn't shy away from Mirana support, but they're kind of just saying, like, this hero scales too well in the magical damage route, which I actually agree with. Monkey King. Shadow Tree Dance Shard cooldown increased from 0.3 to 0.4. But honestly, I don't think this is the reason why the hero was doing well. It was definitely part of it, but this makes the shard slightly worse. But honestly, you don't even have to buy the shard. Like, I made an analysis, which I think is coming out after this video. I made an analysis on Monkey King. The guy didn't even, ILTW didn't even buy shard, like, and the hero still looked very good, so I don't think you need it. Wrath of, oh, please be a buff. Wrath of Nature Scepter duration from 3 seconds max to 3.4. Alright, so it's 1.2 to 1.6 minimum. That's the root duration. So basically, they're just buffing how long this thing lasts, right? And they're also buffing how long it roots for at minimum. Alright, I figured it out. Nyx Assassin. Impale mana costs are scaled. Bit of a nerf to the hero. However, it's worse than level 1, so I think this is a nerf, to be honest. But it's slightly better at max, but nah, I think that's a nerf. And Vendetta mana... Okay, so they're just trying to nerf this hero's mana, which is something Nyx actually struggles with. So buy Clarities. If you're gonna pick Nyx, you need Clarities more than ever. Ogre Magi, base damage reduced by 3, Ignite mana cost increased by 10. Alright, I mean, Definitely a nerf, but I think he's fine. Hammer of Fury, that thing's trash. Outworld Devourer. Here he is, boys. Is he better? 5 movement speed, alright. Arcane damage increased by 2%, alright, that's pretty good. Arcane Orb cooldown reduced by 2 seconds to level 1 and 1 at level 2, that's not bad. Sanity's Eclipse radius increased by 25 at all levels, alright. And some talent buffs. Is this enough to make him viable? I don't think so, but it's a lot of buffs. Like, it's a lot of buffs. So he'll definitely go up in win rate, that's for sure, but we'll have to see. Frankly, as I've said before, I don't understand OD, it's like my least favorite hero in Dota. So, I don't know, you guys can, if you want to explain what this will do to OD in the comments, feel free, but I frankly don't understand. Obviously, it's a buff. I'm going to say it goes up, like, my best guess, and it's a guess, is 5% win rate. Alright, Venom Assassin. Venom Assassin attack speed reduced. Ooh, 25 at level 1, and oh, it's just 25 at all levels. Alright, that's a big nerf. 25 attack speed, whew, jeez. Alright. Spirit Lance Shard Illusion damage increased from 20 to 30%. Oh, that's actually pretty strong. Punch Dismember Shard now reduces cooldown by 7 always, instead of by half when used on allies. Oh, that's pretty strong. So now, you can actually dismember, you just get a constantly lower dismember cooldown, so it brings it all the way down to 13 seconds if you buy the shard, which definitely is pretty viable if you're like playing tanky Pudge, you know? You can definitely get multiple dismembers off. It's likely you'll stay alive for 13 seconds. Sleeping Dart cooldown reduced from 20 to 15. Honestly, Ricky was already doing well this patch, so I feel like he didn't need a buff. Sleeping Dart was pretty underwhelming, to be honest, in my opinion. I mean, it wasn't bad, it's just kind of awkward. Just an awkward, yeah, it's just awkward. But yeah, alright. I mean, I don't think this hero needed a buff, but sure. Arcane Supremacy cast range increased. Alright. Bit of a Rubik buff. I feel like this hero was still alright, but I think his win rate was overall slightly down. Shadow Shaman, Shackle Shards, Word. Oh, okay, so they nerfed it. Shackle Shard Word's duration reduced. It's only by 1 second. I still am a big fan of this shard. The fact that it increases shackle range by 150 makes it viable. Like, that alone makes it, like, viable, you know? The fact that you get 150 cast range extra on shackles, let alone the snakes, you know? Fish bait mana cost reduced, fish bait cooldown reduced by a lot, and the duration increased. Alright. They must have really said that this one is hot garbage. The win rate must have been horrible on whatever stats they're looking at, because, woof, that is a lot of buffs. Alright. Definitely something to consider. There's a Slark video coming up, guys. It's embarrassing. Just, I guess, keep your eye out. Oh, level 10 talent increased from 15 movement speed to 20. Alright, cool. Concussive grade. Oh, wow. You get an extra 125 damage on the concussive grenade. That's pretty good. That's useful. Sure. Nether Strike Shard no longer changes cast behavior. Yeah, it was so whack, dude, watching it. Nether Strike Shard now gives 2 seconds of spell immunity after cast is successful. Oh, God. That is much worse. Why would you want the spell immunity after and not before? So basically, the shard gave you spell immunity before, so it essentially guaranteed you'd get your ultimate off, which is like obviously very good, and now it's after, which is not that good. Sure, it lets you get out, which is cool, I guess, but at the same time, just like buy a BKB, you know? I mean, sure, the costs are, you know, vastly different, so this has some viability, but I don't know. Psionic Trap silence duration increased from 2.5 to 3. I'm assuming this is the shard, right? Yeah, I think this is the shard. Yeah, it's the shard. I don't know why it didn't write shard, but it's the shard. It doesn't silence normally. Demon Zeal, shard movement speed, bonus increased from 25 to 50. Oh, so, ooh, jeez. That means it's 50% more while in melee, which gives you, oh, it's only 50% more though. I thought it was 100% more. Alright, weird. So it's 50% more, so if you're melee form, you get 75 movement speed. Whew, and 75% attack speed. That's kind of nuts. Honestly, this definitely has viability. That's a lot of movement speed. Even just using this to like split push is kind of legit. What's the cooldown? Is it actually only a 14-second cooldown? Is that really what it is? Oh, that's pretty good. So what I'm going to recommend is I recommend buying like Satanic. So buy like a Morbid Mask, and then you can pick this up. And honestly, using this to split push is 100% viable, I think. Like, it's so much movement speed and farming capabilities. I think this is definitely viable for farming and being able to split up the map. Even catching up to people, like, it's a lot of HP you're sacrificing, but I think you can make up for it. Oh, they actually buffed this thing? I felt like it was maybe okay, but the problem is, like, when you buy it on Timber, Timber needs a lot of items. Like, he needs, like, Mech and, like, Greaves and Crest and, I mean, and, like, Lotus and Yules and, like, usually you always need that next item, but, I mean, hey, if you can fit in this shard, the Flamethrower DPS increased from 75 to 90, and the slow is increased by 5%. That's pretty good, honestly. Quite a buff. Defense Matrix Shield increased by 75, that's a lot, and the duration was increased. Alright. It's just awkward to buy. This hero is just awkward in general. Tusk, frozen sigil movement speed increased by 30, and the shard movement speed slow increased as well. Oh, 30% slow is huge. This thing is definitely viable. It's just hard to buy on Tusk because he doesn't really farm very much. This hero doesn't get that much gold usually unless he's killing everybody, so it's just hard to buy this, you know? It's hard to buy it, but it's definitely good. It's definitely good. Vengeful Spirit strength gain increased by 0.2. This hero got crushed, by the way. It was doing so bad. Wave of Terror damage increased. Vengeance Aura damage increased. Oh, by quite a lot, 3% on level 1. And Nether Swap cooldown reduced. Oh, that's a big buff. So this is the biggest buff out of all of them. 10 seconds less cooldown on Nether Swap at level 1 is huge. That lets you make a lot more plays. Poison Attack Shard max stack increase from +2 to +3. Oh, wow. Oh my god, the amount of damage if you get 8 stacks of poison on someone. It's a lot of stacks though, but if you can build this around attack speed, like the Dragonlance Glitmeter build or whatever that people are doing, that can be viable. Basically, you buy Dragonlance treads, some stats, wand, then you buy the Glitmeter thing. It's pretty good. And then a BKB. It's viable. Visage, silent as the grave, no longer provides flying vision. Oh, that's a big nerf. Rip. Here it is. Hey, we all expected it. Oh, that's not that bad. Only 10% less? Really? This hero has been dominating. I can't believe it. All it got was a 10% nerf to its crit. I mean, it's a nerf, but it's not that bad. Alright, keep picking Wraith King. Static field damage reduced by 2%. Oh, jeez. That is a big nerf. Like, because you have to keep in mind how many spells you're actually casting as Zeus in a fight. It can be like upwards of 7, or, you know, with all the Qs you cast. That adds up. That can be like 14% less max HP, you know? That's a big nerf, especially to the common skill build right now, which is maxing your Q and then taking 2 points in your E and then maxing Bolt. So, alright, that's the end of the 7.288 patch. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, let me know in the comment section down below